Now, Elon isn't always right, but he's certainly right about that. So what's it going to take to get to the bottom of all of this? Joining me now to discuss Texas Republican Congressman on the House Judiciary Committee, Lance Gooden is here. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
So when did the CIA become involved in domestic politics?
They should never be involved in domestic politics. But, when you hear people like Donald Trump say the election wasn't fair, this is one of the things he's talking about. You have the media on board with one of the candidates peddling his lies. You've got Antony Blinken peddling these lies in the president's inner circle now today. And you've got this letter that is something that is seriously used in a presidential debate toward the end of the campaign that absolutely swayed voters. And the government should not be involved. The CIA should not be involved. And we own the House Judiciary Committee. We want answers, and I expect we'll get them.
So is this in any way actionable? Because there was never Russian disinformation. It never had the earmarks of Russian disinformation. The Biden family knew that it was real. Hunter knew that it was real. Antony Blinken certainly knew the potential topics that could be enmeshed in the laptop itself, having been a close friend of the first son for many, many years. So is any of this because they knew what they were saying was fake? They also knew that it was very monumental and that people listened to 51 former intelligence officials who seemed to be making a desperate plea. That plea was completely fabricated. Can anyone get in trouble for this?
Well, I hope so. I'll certainly give them credit for creativity. They certainly weren't stupid about it. They knew they had a bomb on their hands, and they got the hitman within their campaign to work with CIA folks who obviously were influenceable, and they got that letter out. So pretty smart. But unfortunately, I believe that that's illegal. I don't believe the CIA should be engaged in domestic politics, and I intend to hold them accountable with my colleagues on Judiciary. I do hope that subpoenas will go out, and we'll bring some more folks in to testify. We've already begun work on that. But I think it's important that the American people know that they were lied to in the last campaign, that all of us that were saying this was not Russian disinformation, this was actually a real story, that we weren't crazy, that folks like the New York Times should not be getting Pulitzer Prizes for this award-winning journalism that was peddling lies for the Democratic Party. And I think it's important that we don't let up and that we ensure that the American people have all the facts, especially when they're making decisions about who to put in office in a year and a half from now. Yeah,
and people who are skeptical about the power and influence of people in the federal government, when they talk about a deep state and they're dismissed for phrases like that as being conspiratorial, this is what people are talking about. When they worry about powerful actors getting together, colluding with one another to affect the outcome of an election, that is the work of the deep state. That people know it in their gut that something is wrong here, and people, in order to maintain or regain power, will do whatever it takes working together to make sure they get that back. And hey, man, as long as there are no arrests or no trials, and there is no culpability, guess what? They're going to keep doing it, and they'll do it in 2024 and beyond, because with the government getting bigger and spending more money and stealing more money through taxation, you better believe that there's more power to be had, and they will stop at nothing to make sure they get it. So hopefully you and other people on your committee will keep them accountable.
Well, I intend to. I expect we will. And I would just encourage your viewers and the American people, the next time someone calls you crazy for referring to the deep state, you can refer to the latest story, and that's this letter on the Hunter Biden laptop. It's not crazy to have been talking about this and calling the Biden campaign and the Biden family liars for what they did and the lies that they've spread during that campaign. Now we're seeing that the deep state is alive and well. The federal government has been weaponized against the American people, and it was weaponized in the last campaign cycle.
Congressman Gooden, thanks so much for your time.